Hey everyone, Dan McKenzie here with McKenzie Law Firm. We are a law firm in Centennial, Colorado, specializing in estate planning, estate administration, and small business counsel. I want to make a video today about a topic that might seem a little counterintuitive, and that is I'm on a bit of a rampage lately about a very consistent marketing message that I see around estate planning and wills. And that marketing message is that you need to protect your family, and to do that, you get a will. And certainly having a will is very important, but just any will, a will is part of an estate plan. It's not the plan. And you can say whatever you want in your will, right? So I could create a will saying that I give $1 million to this person and $1 million to that person, and I also give the Statue of Liberty to my friend over here. And if I showed you that will and said, hey, look, I've left this will here, and it says you're going to get $1 million when I die, well, your first question might be, okay, Dan, do you have $1 million to give away? Where is that $1 million going to come from? Like, how do I know, even if you have it today, you're going to have it then? Like, all kinds of questions if you were the recipient of this stuff. And those are kind of extreme, obviously somewhat crazy examples, but people do this kind of thing all the time, where they create a will that says, leave certain gifts to certain people, or they're expecting to have certain amounts of money or certain assets, and they don't think through, okay, well, how would that actually come to be? Like, how I'm leaving this piece of real estate to this person, like, what are the mechanics behind, like, how that real estate actually goes from being in my name to being in their name. And like, if it has a mortgage attached to it, how does that mortgage get paid? Does it get paid? Are they taking over the mortgage? Will the mortgage company allow them to take over the mortgage? Like, that kind of thing comes up all the time. Or retirement assets, right? I mean, a lot of people have retirement, big retirement accounts in their estates. A lot of times it's their biggest asset or their second biggest asset, depending on the equity they have in their home. And so they leave all these instructions about leaving stuff to people, but don't really think through, okay, again, retirement assets, if it's in an IRA or in a 401k, that hasn't been taxed yet. And there's all kinds of rules about when you inherit an IRA or a 401k, how quickly you have to take that money out, and what the tax rate you're going to pay on it, and even Roth IRAs. That is post-tax money, but it has rules too. And so again, people aren't really thinking through, like, okay, we've got this tax consequence for this asset. It's like I'm splitting things equally between people, but I haven't really thought about, like, how, where the taxes come from, and how are they going to pay them, and should they be just getting them outright? So, having a will, again, good idea. Certainly every responsible adult, especially adults who have other people who are relying on them, really need a will. But the will is part of the plan. It's not the plan. We got to go back and think through, okay, here's what I want to have happen. Now have I set up my assets in a way that makes that actually feasible? And do I have the assets to do what I want to do? And the real problem with estate planning is that the consequences of creating a plan that actually won't work does not fall on the person who created the plan, right? It falls on that next generation, or whoever is supposed to be receiving things, or like creditors or people who are owed money. So that's why so many estate plans actually fail and actually end up in court. And so again, people feel like, well, if I have a will, things won't go to court, and that's certainly not true. If you leave a will that is trying to instruct things that are not consistent with the law, not consistent with people's expectations, those end up in court all the time. So you should have a will, but having a will, it's got to be a good will. It's got to be consistent with law. It's hopefully consistent with people's expectations and understandings. And if it's not, it gives some people a way to at least work out, they've got the right assets, they've got the stuff they need to actually carry out that plan. So if you're looking to have that kind of comprehensive conversation, that's what we do with our clients. We always go through a big important part of our process is kind of, okay, we've got your instructions here. Now we're going to pull out the list of assets that you gave us. We're going to go through those. We're going to make sure they're properly titled, that they have the correct designated beneficiaries on them. If they're going into a trust, that you have a plan to do that. And then if you've got specific gifts you're giving to people, will, that is somehow accounted for in these, that your financial advisor understands what you're doing so that if there's goals that need to be met, that they can work with you to accomplish that. So not just a will, right? So we can be reached. We are we're in the Denver, Colorado area in Centennial, which is a little bit south of Denver. Our phone number is 303-578-2745. Again, we are the McKenzie Law Firm, and I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.